Hey folks, it's Henry Byer here with a demonstration video of the Hardstyle sit-up using the pavelizer. This is something that Pavel came up with, and not only the Hardstyle sit-up as a modification to the Jonda sit-up. You might have heard of that. A guy named Dr. Jonda came up with a sit-up that is designed to minimize hip flexion using the hip flexor in the sit-up, and Pavel took it one step forward and he describes it in this book, Hardstyle Abs, hit harder, lift heavy, look the part. And I put in my 5x5 training plan on session D, which is tomorrow on Friday. I'm using the Hardstyle abs as my ab work. Last week I did the ab wheel because I didn't have a lot of time and it's super fast to do the ab wheel. And maybe I'll do a demonstration video for that. So then I was like, okay, well I need to show people what I'm talking about with this Hardstyle ab pavelizer sit-up. And the funny thing is I haven't done this sit-up in a while, and I did a little test and I'm not very strong in it right now. So I am going to attempt to do the demonstration for you just so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. But don't expect very much of me from this. My abs are strong in terms of bracing from doing sit-up, from doing deadlifts and the shoulder presses, but they seemed to not be quite as strong in terms of doing a more dynamic sit-up style ab exercise. So just bear with me on that. Have some patience. But so the idea here is, I'll point out, there's this contraption here, which when I get into it, you'll see it. It has a weight over here, which is about 10 pounds. And that's a good weight to start with. There is a weight chart based on your weight and stuff like that. What's a good weight? But for me at 160 pounds, 10 pounds is good to start with. And then there's some pads here, which you can't really see very well. They go on the back of your calf. And then the idea is to squeeze your butt and to to press your feet into the ground. And then you actually go from the up position. This is the easier version. You go from the up position and down and then back up. And that's a rep. And you go down. The idea is to go down as far as you're keeping your back relatively straight, not having it crunched up, flexed like in a crunch, but having your back pretty much straight. Down, you go down as far as you can, and ideally you get your shoulder blades to touch, and then you come back up, and that would be one rep. So I'm going to demonstrate that, and as I said, don't expect much out of me here today because the test run was not very great. And maybe I'll be working on these and then I'll show you a demonstration when I'm actually able to do a nice one. But that's the Hardstyle ab, great for your abs, and because it takes this there's one last thing. The contraption here helps remove the hip flexors from the equation, which is and puts all of the work on the abs. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can actually, and you have a partner, your partner can take a towel and wrap it around your calves and pull up at about a 45-degree angle, and the same thing applies. You have your feet, put this up so I don't have to scratch. You have your feet planted and pushing into the ground and squeezing your butt cheeks. But here, I'll do this demonstration and, hopefully I don't completely embarrass myself. All right. It's a good idea to have a yoga mat, something sticky for you to, so that this thing doesn't move. So if you can hear me, you know you're doing this wrong if your feet are coming up like this. That's wrong. That can be an indication of having too much weight, or if you're pulling your feet or your butt is if they're being pulled together, that's also an indication that you're using too much, you're using your hip flexors. So you start in this, squeeze your butt. That's one thing I find very hard is squeezing the butt in this position. Push your feet into the ground Take a breath, let out some air, and go back. And up. So you can see I can't go very far without compromising the position. So I just go down as far as I can. 2, and you really feel this. 3. Oh, stomach cramp. So even on that last one, you may have noticed my feet came up just a little bit. Each time I went a little bit further, but on the last one, my feet came up a little bit. And you really feel it in your abs. You don't need to do more than 3 to 5 reps of this, 3 sets of it. And that's what it is on the session D day for my 5x5 training plan. It's three sets of 3 to 5 reps. And so I'll be doing that tomorrow and working on getting better. But just so you have an idea of what the hardstyle sit-up is and what the ab pavelizer looks like, I wanted to share this with you, even though I'm not that great at them right now. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.